Hi, everybody. Dan O'Brien, Chief Communications Officer here, and I'm here to talk about flyers and PDFs and ADA compliance, and basically what you should do on ParentSquare if you have a flyer that you want to share out. Um, the problem with flyers is 99.9% of the time they're not compliant with ADA. The reason is because if the flyer is not formatted properly, which they never are, it's impossible for a screen reader to read the words in a chronological way. The second thing is that depending on the um, tools that the person used to create the flyer, such as Canva or something else, it may not be able to be read with a screen reader, basically. Also, the images most often do not have um, alt text, which you may have watched in the one of the other videos I did. So I bulleted that all here on the left-hand side. Screen reader has to audibly read text in a logical, chronological order. Words as images can't be read with a screen reader, so that includes things like logos and things like that. Images, most of the time, they do not have alt text, which means, again, there's no description being audibly read through a screen reader. Um, so that's really the problem with the flyers. So there's flyers and there's PDFs and there's PDF documents. So PDF document is not a flyer, but a flyer is always a PDF. So these slides are actually from a longer presentation. I'm just kind of honing in on what you need to know here. So flyers are essentially never compliant. Also, scanned documents are literally never compliant because it's essentially a photo. So the words can't be read at all. We are not posting any PDFs on the website unless it's absolutely necessary. So what do you do when you get a flyer? And this is the problem that all of the schools have, especially with ParentSquare. You get a flyer like the one on the left here, and it's a great event. It's a charity event. It's going to help the kids. How do we put this out properly? So this is from a different district, but this is an example of how to post it the right way on the right-hand side. They screenshotted the image at the top and used it as a banner image, and then they took all the same information from the flyer and wrote it out as text and made it a calendar event listing on their Facebook page. That is compliant because a screen reader can read through all of that information because it's actual text. Um, how would that work on ParentSquare? I think is that the next one? Yes. So this is what I'm seeing a lot of on ParentSquare, and I'm not trying to call anyone out because we haven't really done much education around this, but this is totally not compliant. This is just like a link. It goes to a flyer that can't be read with a screen reader. Also, there's just no text or description on what this is. Most parents don't know what these letters stand for. We know what CPAC is, but most of our parents don't. So this is not to feel bad, but this is what I'm seeing a lot of, and I just want to point out where we need to improve. This is a post that actually was done correctly from Worcester Arts Magnet. So the PTG had an event coming up. It was some kind of an ice cream social event, and they posted the flyer, but they also posted the text in the post on ParentSquare. That's the correct way to do this because that way somebody with a screen reader has access to the same information. So it does take a couple extra minutes, but if you just write out the content from the flyer, which usually it's not that much because we're just talking about one page with like a little bit of information. Now suddenly that non-compliant flyer, the information is in a compliant format so that someone with disabilities can access that information. The next step would be to put in some alt text. As I explained in another short video to how to do, any image has to have a brief description. So anytime you post an image such as this one you see on the right-hand side here, you click that I and you write a super brief description. So it can say like a flyer with pictures of ice cream. That's it. Just something so that somebody with a screen reader can get that brief description. So just to wrap this up, do's and don'ts. Do write out the text from the flyer on the Parent Square post. The text has to include all pertinent information from the flyer and not just some to be compliant. That doesn't mean it has to be every single word, but it has to be enough information that it's essentially the same as what's on the flyer so that we're not discriminating against somebody who can't read that flyer. You can post the flyer as an image along with the text, as I mentioned, and make sure it has alt text so that because it's considered an image, so that there's a really brief description of the image. Again, flyers are meant to really be printed on paper, not as a substitute for posting text in a post. They're meant to be printed and physically handed out or hung up on a wall. It's much better to create a calendar event listing or a post on ParentSquare or your school's page on the website. So don't post the flyer with an as an attachment with no text at all. Don't post the flyer in the body of the post with no text, and don't put so little text that it doesn't convey the information that's in the flyer. I will say posting some text is better than no text at all. But again, it should be equivalent or very close to what's in the flyer. Okay, that's it. Thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great day. If you have any questions, please email me, o'briend@worcesterschools.net, or the communications office at communications@worcesterschools.net. Thank you so much.